Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. Here's a New Year's resolution: ditch the get-rich-quick schemes and learn how to invest your money so it lasts longer than your new gym membership. NerdWallet's trusted experts will shovel through today's avalanche of financial misinformation and set up future you for success in 2024. Learn about budgeting tips to melt away post-holiday debt, whether you should buy a home or wait for mortgage rates to warm up, and how you can build a cozy credit score. Ditch the financial frostbite and make smarter decisions this year. Follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app. Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. Here's a New Year's resolution: ditch the get-rich-quick schemes and learn how to invest your money so it lasts longer than your new gym membership. NerdWallet's trusted experts will shovel through today's avalanche of financial misinformation and set up future you for success in 2024. Learn about budgeting tips to melt away post-holiday debt, whether you should buy a home or wait for mortgage rates to warm up, and how you can build a cozy credit score. Ditch the financial frostbite and make smarter decisions this year. Follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app.
Live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Clenham Radio, Bator, Gaskiar FM, Techiman, and Radio Wa. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, government rules out any chance of declaring a state of emergency in flooded communities, saying it is more focused on mobilizing relief items for the affected persons.
I don't think that is something that is considered at the moment.
We'll also hear from the Ghana Water Company, which says it is facing challenges in treating water for the Segakope area.
We had a power outage, and that ECG is doing its best to give us power. The other one is aquatic leak.
Attorney General calls for fresh evidence into the illegal mining menace, fighting off claims it is complicit in a plot to cover up for government officials engaged in Galamsey. And in business,
government completes work on rationalization of some social intervention programs, including free SHS, with details to be announced in the 2024 budget. We have more on the Joy Business Report.
Later in the bulletin, 9 schools slag it out for the 3 available slots at the semi-final stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz.
It's not our might or power, it's by the grace of God. And as the old Spanish saying goes, "Que sera, sera," what will be will.
We have all the details and more with me, Hannah Odami. Now, Government has ruled out any chance of declaring a state of emergency in flooded communities across the country, which has displaced over 26,000 people. Many individuals, including some members of the clergy, have called for the declaration of a state of emergency to enable government dedicate more resources to tackle the flooding crisis and also attract international intervention. But speaking to Joy News, Deputy Minister of Information Fatimatu Abubakar says government's interministerial committee is not considering the matter at the moment.
I don't think that is something that is considered at the moment. But of course, this is when we talk about emergency and disasters, it should tell you that even with the best of minds, maybe things may go beyond your anticipation. But in the meantime, the focus has been on health, safety, and also evacuation exercises and relief support.
Meanwhile, some residents of the Volta region say the spillage of the Akosombo Dam and the Pond Dams has crippled economic activities there. Some fish sellers at the Segakope area say the disaster has drastically reduced their daily sales. My colleague Carlos Coloni has been interacting with them.
So they cannot come and buy the fish for us. So we are suffering. Since morning, I have not made any single sale. Even yesterday, how much did I sell? 500 cedis. So, yes, like 2,000 or 3,000. But now, yesterday, 500. Today, nothing.
They can't come out to buy the tilapia or the business that we are doing here. So we are really suffering. Sometimes you can sell 2,000, 3,000 a day. But for now, no. Things have really gone down. People are not coming to buy.
Meanwhile, Chief of Adidome, Togbe Kosinye Kakaklolo Ajiman says Ghana must establish an effective disaster fund that will help deal with the major crisis in the country. The chief was speaking to the press after the Tanker Owners Union of Ghana donated relief items worth 500,000 cedis to the affected residents. Kojo Brace has the rest of the story.
The flooding of various communities in the Volta region has stoked a debate on the preparedness of the country to handle disasters of that magnitude. NADMO, the country's disaster management organization, struggling to contain the situation. Togbe Kosinyi Kakaklolo Ajiman V, the Dufia of Adidome, says it is time the nation considers establishing a workable disaster fund.
Such funds could be tapped into and given to people who have lost their capital. They could give them certain capitals that can get them back on their feet.
Still on floods, there's been reports of shortage of pipe-borne water in the flooded communities, forcing residents to use contaminated water from the river for house chores. Let's hear from the chief manager in charge of public relations at the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate.
We had was a power outage, and that ECG is doing its best to give us power. The other one is aquatic weed. Because of the pressure within the base of the water, it's washing off all aquatic weeds, especially into our intake area. So it's almost blocking water from being abstracted for treatment. But we are using our filter screens to remove them gradually. We have had professional divers who will help us by the weekend to remove most of the weeds so that at least we'll be able to abstract enough water for treatment.
Stanley Mate is, however, optimistic the problem will be addressed by the end of the week. Let's move on, and the Attorney General is calling for fresh evidence into the illegal mining menace in its renewed fight against Galamsey. It comes on the heels of accusations by the National Democratic Congress that the office is complicit in a plot to cover up for government officials engaged in Galamsey. But Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tua Yeboah says it is committed to winning the war against Galamsey.
Your network has actually taken a very huge chunk of the fight. You've done a yeoman's job. I must commend you. But we are so asking that even if you have documentaries and we think you need one or two pieces of information, everybody, nobody will be covered. Nobody will just be made to go under the bridge. If you have done anything wrongful, definitely the law catch up with you.
While the communications officer of the NDC, Sammy Jemfi, challenged the Attorney General's office to provide evidence if it isn't complicit.
They sit in the confines of their offices in Accra and produce for you a docket without visiting the site of the alleged illegal mining, speaking to the members of the task force who actually arrested the illegal miners and seized their equipment, those who actually have evidence of the illegal mining. They didn't speak to any of them, and you are a prosecutor with your source, and they give you a docket. Will you even give a legal look? By the way, tell them to go and do a better job.
Sammy, stay on.
Because they are all neck deep in the cover-up. That is why they issue that legal opinion.
Sammy Jemfi there. Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says the NDC deserves commendation for insisting on the use of the guarantor system during the recent limited registration exercise by the Electoral Commission. At a recent update on the exercise, the EC noted over 60% of the registrants use the guarantor system, while Haruna Idrisu, the Member of Parliament for Tamale South, tells Joy News, until the Ghana card is made available to everyone, the EC cannot insist on its sole use as proof of citizenship.
If the Electoral Commission today now tells Ghanaians 61% of their over 900,000 votes came through the guarantor system, it means that at least more than half of the registered voters of over 500,000 would not have been on the register if we follow the insistence of the Electoral Commission to use only Ghana card as the sole requirement. So at least they have come to see the benefit and wisdom of listening and respecting the political opposition when we canvassed very strongly that there was no law which prevented the Electoral Commission and the chairperson from undertaking the exercise, and that it was safer to use the guarantor system whilst we all work together to ensure that the Ghana card is increasingly made available to every deserving Ghanaian.
That was Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu. Controlling electrical and electronic home appliances can be a daunting task, especially for the disabled. Though some appliances can be controlled remotely, they have separate remote controllers and may even require the internet. So what if you can control all your home appliances using your phone's Bluetooth? That's what a student from the Sinyani Technical University has developed. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah caught up with Farida Ali for Tech Thursday.
You have to take your phone, go to the app. So when you go to the app, you connect so that when you are at home, sitting at your home zone, you can operate any appliance in the home, wherever you are seated. For the disabled too, it is very good for them since they cannot move around. When they are seated, they can just sit there, either on the TV or off it, on the fan, off the fan, any appliance in the room.
Farida Ali is with the Sinyani Technical University. 9 schools are set to square up for the 3 available slots at the semi-final stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz. 2 of them are all-girls schools at St. Louis Senior High School and Wesley Girls, who are hoping to rewrite history. 7-time champions Presec Legon are upbeat about whisking their 8th trophy. Jacqueline Yeboah has more in the story.
Amidst the fierce competition, 9 exceptional schools emerged triumphant, securing their coveted spots in the semi-finals. In the heart of the Ashanti region, St. Louis SHS shines brightly, displaying unparalleled brilliance from the preliminary stages.
Everything is not our might or power, it's by the grace of God. And as the old Spanish saying goes, "Que sera, sera," what will be, will be.
Their male affiliate, Opakowari SHS, are in a fierce contest against their all-time rivals, Prempeh College. Meanwhile, Eastern Region's Pope John Minor Seminary SHS made a triumphant return to the semi-finals. After 2 decades, the Central Region has suffered major shocks in the competition after its champion was booted out. But its fate lies in the hands of 2 lovebirds, Wesley Girls and Infante Plum School. From the Volta region, Keta SATS emerges as the lone star, shining brightly as the highest scoring school in the 1A stage.
And you can watch that semi-final on Joy News Channel and on myjoyonline.com. That's it for the news at 6 with me, Hannah Odami. Have a great morning.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
Joy 99. Nerds. Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. Here's a New Year's resolution: ditch the get-rich-quick schemes and learn how to invest your money so it lasts longer than your new gym membership. NerdWallet's trusted experts will shovel through today's avalanche of financial misinformation and set up future you for success in 2024. Learn about budgeting tips to melt away post-holiday debt, whether you should buy a home or wait for mortgage rates to warm up, and how you can build a cozy credit score. Ditch the financial frostbite and make smarter decisions this year. Follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app.